Hey, what is going on, SMT Nation? It's your boy, the SMT. Today we're going to be taking a look at the summary and results that I have. Did a bunch of speed testing over the weekend of the big game, but instead of doing it at Tampa, where the big game was, I did it in the CLE. And the reason, obviously, is convenience. I could actually do the testing there, but also it's been several months since the last time that I tested the T-Mobile network in these particular locations downtown in the CLE. So the reason I wanted to go back and test them is because the Cleveland area is one of the few markets across the country where T-Mobile actually has deployed some millimeter wave. And I wanted to test it again. It's been a while. So I went back to some specific locations that I knew confirmed had the millimeter wave. I had confirmed N260 and confirmed N261. The 260 is 39 gigahertz. The 261 is 28 gigahertz. And I knew those sites would have it. I went back to test it, and the results weren't great. But I stumbled upon some sites that I don't remember ever testing before. It's quite possible they're new sites. Here are some of the data points that I actually had from the testing, and you could see I was able to get gigabit speeds at these locations. Now, very strategically, I think what T-Mobile is doing is they're taking high data volume situations. You know, when I looked at the surrounding areas, it's apartments, it's high walking traffic, it's a lot of cars. It makes total sense. You know, why wouldn't you leverage your millimeter wave spectrum holdings in this particular area? So you got hundreds of megahertz of bandwidth that you can deploy, right? You could do 100 megahertz channels, you could do multiple channels, right? There's a lot of things you could do, and now with the new hardware for 2021, with potentially what the S21 will be able to do upon software updates, you know, multi-carrier aggregation of the 5G channels, it's going to be tremendous. And then making the channel bandwidth higher, you know, 100 megahertz, 200 megahertz, 400 megahertz, that's going to really increase the capacity. So if you look at some of the data points, full gigabit speed, the uplink, nothing special. Quite frequently we see LTE speeds do better than that, you know, 26 megabits on the uplink. The pings are nothing special. But again, I think this is promising because while Verizon has been running away with millimeter wave, no other carrier has really scaled as much as Verizon has. AT&T a little bit, T-Mobile nothing really notable. They did it just to say they did it, in my opinion, but now they're actually starting to leverage it where they think they need to. So in a place like the Bingham on West 9th in the CLE, with this huge high-rise apartment area, lots of walking traffic, lots of driving, people on the streets, and then a lot of people in these apartments. It makes total sense to leverage it to offload some of the LTE traffic. So here are these data points, and they are great. I was very happy to see this. And like I said, these were not, places that I had tested before. So these are new millimeter wave sites, which tells me something. It tells me that T-Mobile is quietly building out little islands of millimeter wave. I don't think they're ever going to really make this a focal point of their network. It's never going to be a big piece of what they do. I don't think they embrace the grind enough. They don't like the idea of having to densify at this scale. But where it could help, they're going to utilize it. So like in scenarios like this, like on West 9th and the CLE downtown, in situations in the flats, in places like, the Cleveland Clinic where they've had it, you're going to see gigabit speed like you see here in the screenshots. And certain, times and parts of the evening, it makes total sense to have this in those places. And, with the pandemic situation kind of winding down in all likelihood, vaccinations are in tow. People are going to be back out and about. There's going to be concert venues. I mean, things are literally going to explode, right? People are literally dying to just get out and be out. And I think these networks have to be ready for that. Offload some of that traffic with the millimeter wave. Now, I also did some N41 testing, and I'll share those data points with you all and the screenshots of the speed tests, and I'll describe the area where I tested. But I wanted to dedicate this video to these data points and these speed tests that I did to show you that you don't actually want to listen to what a carrier says. Watch what they do. I continue to harp on that. T-Mobile says they don't want to do millimeter wave, and they probably don't really want to, but they don't really have a choice. It's the only real way to do big capacity. And I'm glad to see them just kind of like admitting to that and utilizing it where they feel they have to. Because that's the truth. That's what they got to do. Because if they don't, they're in trouble. They won't be able to achieve this with N41. They're going to need mmWave. I'd actually like to hear what you guys have to say on this topic. You know, at any point in this video, in any of my videos, I'm always looking forward to the commentary and the replies. I just know that what T-Mobile is doing with N41 is really all about reach. They want to be able to hit, you know, the most coverage. But what you can't do, and there just isn't enough mid-band out there to do it, you can't scale capacity without mmWave. And now, it's not just Cleveland. We've already gotten word that we're going to be seeing it in San Francisco. Engineers have already indicated that they're working on this. A lot of the state of California will rely on situational or even several blocks of coverage of mmWave. T-Mobile's going to have to do it, or else those N41 channels, I don't care if they're 40 megahertz, 60 megahertz, or 80 megahertz, to future-proof it, eliminate the congestion that it could face, we're going to have to free up those channels with some offloading of mmWave. It's going to have to happen. If you don't believe that, then why would T-Mobile have spent the money to buy the mmWave licenses? Again, I emphasize the point. Don't listen to what carriers say. Watch what they do. That's the truth. That's what's going to happen. Forget about what they're telling you. Just watch what they're doing, because that's really what's going on. Again, and I've emphasized this before, and I said it last week on the podcast. I said it 2 weeks ago on another video. This is not a new statement. I've been saying this. I'm going to drive this point home. T-Mobile does not have to win anything. They don't have to be better than anybody. They just have to compete, because their marketing team is on blast. Their pricing is competitive. Their customer care is second to none. All they have to do in network is compete. Improve so that the coverage areas are good. Don't be the worst in any particular area. Compete in the network and let the rest do the talking. So I'm going to do another follow-up video to discuss the N41 upgrades in the CLE. There's been quite a few sites that I've tested. I'll be describing, you know, those areas of testing and the results, similar to what I did here with this video. Sound off in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think of my results, my data, how they tested in mmWave and such. Love to hear your thoughts and opinions. Go ahead and sound off in the comment section. The voice of the people, the SMT Nation. Let your voice be heard. That just about does it for this edition of the SMT YouTube channel. Thank you so much for taking this opportunity to watch. We appreciate you being here. If you enjoyed the content, make sure to give this video a like and share it to all of your favorite social media platforms. Also, consider becoming a subscriber if you'd like more from the SMT, and activate that bell notification icon so you never miss an upload, and you'll be the first to know when something does hit the YouTubes. Also, we've got items in the description box. We've got a Discord server. The @SneedTech Twitter handle is there, and there's ways to donate and support SMT creation. That pretty much does it for today. Thank you so much for being here again. Hope you have a great day, and we'll hopefully see you soon on the next video. Peace.